Welcome everyone to another interview with one of our funded traders. Today we are hosting Arnas, who has requested over 7 payouts from funding pips, which is equal to over $45,000. Quite impressive. I'm really happy to meet Arnas here and really happy to welcome him here. How are you, Arnas, today?
Hello. Thanks for having me. I'm very good. And yeah, looking forward to this conversation and perhaps bring some value to funding pips traders.
We are really excited to have you here because from what I see from your payouts, they're quite juicy and but more important than that, they're quite consistent. So this actually makes your journey quite interesting. So I want to hear it as soon as possible. So let's dive right into it. How did you come across trading and how did this whole journey start?
Well, it was some time ago. I was just out of school in Copenhagen. I was living in Denmark. I was studying there. My studies lasted only 3 months, and then I decided that school is not for me. I was always a very entrepreneurial guy, and it started with crypto. Actually, I remember just starting to buy some bitcoins for like $300. I remember it was so low back then, and then I just kind of got hooked. Then options came into play as well, and then the whole the whole industry came around, and I remember I started trading oil, etc. So it was quite a long time ago, but here I am, 5 years later, finally at the stage where I'm happy with all that the hard work starting to pay off.
That's amazing. So you've been trading for 5 years. What would you say how long it took you to become, let's say, profitable? Because I know that profitability can change from every person,
Yes.
but when did it start for you?
Well, it started around a year ago, I would say, where I have this like I started to realize how the whole thing works. Pretty much you are in a deep uh, negative territory at first, then your negative territory becomes smaller, then you become a break-even trader, and then small profits, and then eventually the profits grow bigger and bigger. So I would say break-even point was around 1 year ago, something like that.
Oh, and it's quite interesting that you categorized your trading journey from losing to break even to getting profits. I think it's quite interesting. So, are you trading full time or do you have any other work outside of trading?
Well, I am trading full time, as in the sessions. I'm trading from Monday to Friday. Well, I mean, I'm on the charts Monday to Friday, but I'm still on my I'm a bartender. I'm a bar manager at a cocktail bar in Oslo, and I am just finishing my contract. And next weekend is my last weekend there, and I'm moving back to my home country and starting to live from trading only pretty much. So yeah, I'd say not full time yet, full time soon.
It's quite interesting. You are a bartender. Do you like that job too?
I mean, it was the only job that I remember when I was in Copenhagen. It was I come from Lithuania, so I went there to study, and um, the whole idea was for me to get any job, and uh, I wanted to be a bartender because if like it was a cool job, and I've never settled for any. For me, it wasn't never, just get whatever. For me, it was if I want it, I must have it. So I wanted to become a bartender, and I've become one and traveled the whole world. Well, not the whole world. That was a little bit too excessive, I guess. but I mean, traveled to a lot of countries, worked at different bars all over Europe, etc., and landed a, and it was a pretty nice and pretty good career. However, I'm turning 31 in a few weeks, and it's taken a toll on your health a little bit, working nighttime. So I think it's a good time to exit the industry.
It's amazing. It's amazing that you like what you're doing, and apparently you were successful in it. Because you're saying you traveled to Europe while bartending. It's amazing. And if it's okay for me to ask, how did you navigate between bartending and trading? Because
Mm,
bartending, you work during the night, I
yeah,
assume, and trading whole day. Are you trading?
yeah. Well, the good thing about bartending is that one of your work days is a Saturday night. So
Yeah.
that's when the market is closed, sorry. So you remove 20% of your work week already, that's not interfering with trading. But I took it, I usually, try to find a job or a cocktail bar that um, makes the contract around what I need. Um, so it's always been number one, trading, number two, bar work. So I used to just trade Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then if I have energy after a Wednesday night or Thursday night, then I trade London. But I was never pushing myself, with the sleepless nights and just forcing myself. If I was tired, I slept in, and taking a few days off from the market, it's always healthy.
It's amazing that you actually found a way to navigate between these two in a healthy way because, like you said, it can take a toll on you. And working during the night and maybe losing a little sleep is not always easy on the body. So I'm really happy that you found a way to, like balance it all out.
Yeah, of
um,
course.
Can you tell us what were the some key moments in your trading journey? It can be some time that you lost a lot of money, maybe in
Mm.
crypto, I don't know. Or it can be a time where you realize that you want to do this for a long time and you can actually make a lot of money from this.
Yeah. So the key moment was when I started to define psychological aspect of trading versus technical aspect of trading. And I have I've realized the importance of the right mindsets, and that's where I started working on it with actually Paulina, your psychology coach. I've been with her for 3 years now. She's been my mindset coach. So shout out, Paulina. And
Oh, it's quite
yeah,
amazing to hear that. Quite amazing
yeah.
to hear that.
So that's where I remember having 2 sessions per week with her, so 2 hours with her, and that's really I have a lot. She has given me a lot in terms of understanding how to control your emotions and understand how try to look my emotions and from uh, another perspective, pretty much, and how it can influence my trading. So I'd say work on the mindsets and defining the two, the technical aspect and the psychological aspect. That's where I have moved from break even, I'd say, to profitability.
It's quite impressive that you actually try to seek professional support from someone from an area that you were not completely into and you found
Yes.
what you're looking for. It's amazing. Okay, if I have to ask you, what would you say is the most important thing that you learned from maybe from Paulina or maybe from
Mm,
the emotions and that thought process that went through doing your break even to profit phase? What was the hardest thing, hardest lesson, and that
mm.
key thing that brought you to profitability?
Um, It is now on the spot. It's hard to think of a specific one, but a big one for me was not blaming myself, or like being okay with making mistakes, not like overthinking about it. So like if you make a mistake, reflecting on it, but not marinating the thought in your head, and constantly thinking about it. It's like kind of like accepting the outcome, whatever it is. So to kind of sum it up in one word is acceptance, pretty much.
It's amazing. It's amazing. And a little philosophical, because acceptance, yeah, it's really, really important. Because when you accept your mistakes or your strengths in trading, it means that you can actually navigate your actions around it. So I can actually understand what you mean
You
from it.
can relate.
Exactly. What do you
Yeah.
think was the most difficult thing to overcome in trading for you?
The difficult one was to continue taking it's like just from a technical perspective now. So the it's continuing to take trades in a losing streak and continuing to lose, um, and like having this trust in your system, like because as soon like what before it used to be like you start to think that there's something wrong with the system when you are in a losing streak, when there isn't. It's just the system is in a losing streak. It's just the numbers are playing out pretty much. So the hardest thing was to not to change things and not to um, interfere in it in any way, but continuously take the L's until the edge plays out eventually and the numbers even out. That would be the when hard saying to yourself that everything is okay when you're wrong, like that it's right but you're wrong but it's right.
I can actually relate to what you're saying because I think what you mean is that over time, the trader builds confidence. And it's really important to take the trades without fearing if it's going to play out to take profit or to stop loss or not. What's important is that you actually follow your system. You actually let it run the statistics behind your trading method. And I think it's quite important because if you have enough backtest and if you have enough data, you know that over time it's going to be successful. It's just a matter of time and practice and application. You have to apply what you did in your backtest so that the statistics can also play out as well. So like I said, I can
Precisely.
relate to what you're saying, as I think it's one of the milestones of trading, realizing this very fact. It's basic mathematics and statistics. Just play out the backtest as similar as possible, and you may see the same results. So I think it's about
Exactly.
confidence. Um,
Exactly.
while we're at it, I can see that you worked a lot on your psychology.
Mhm.
And it's quite amazing because it's been a journey. Since November, you have secured 7 payouts from Funding Pips for over $45,000, with the largest being $20,000 a couple of weeks ago. And I think that's amazing. Would you mind showing us a couple of your trades so that we can understand how you approach the markets alongside with your mental approach?
Of course, sure, we can take a look at some of the trades from this week, sorry, last week. Yeah,
I
so
see a trade that's cleanly ran to where is oh great.
yeah, so I mean, the idea was it was all about the CPI. So I tend to look at fundamentals as well. I like to study the macro environment and base my trading ideas and base my bias around it. So this trade was, I think it was Thursday, so it was post CPI continuations. And we can see a chart of GBP USD. And for me, it was pretty easy to determine. Well, I can say like I had a very high conviction of this specific trade, because as we can see here at this area, um, we have a push down and everything here is just internal price action, trapping, and liquidity. And at this area here, that's when the London opened up. We've seen a push up, not completely filling the supply level, and then a correct and a move down, not breaking the lows, and then another run post ECB rate decision, drive deep into the supply. Um, Filling all those orders and then eventually going down. I was targeting weak structure here for a total of 5R, 50 pip move, which is quite significant even on GU. And yeah, we were on the right side of the market then. So.
That's amazing. And do you usually trade in lower time frames or maybe a
Um,
little higher time frames? What was your approach in time frames?
Yeah, well, what I do is I do a top-down analysis. You can see this little note here. It is from this week. I have to note that it's updated as we are having this interview. And the trade is from last week. So these things, this note might be a little bit different, but pretty much what I do is I analyze market structure on weekly, daily, 4 hour, and then I enter my trades on 15 minutes. So I do. I determine my bias on the higher time frames, of course.
It's amazing. I think it's a good idea to write down your weekly, daily bias so that you actually know the higher time frame of what move that you're trading. Are you trying to stay on the side of the trend, or are you usually trading reversal moves?
I don't, I do both. Kind of I use a little discretion as well. If I feel like the price is a little bit extended, I might trade counter trends, but in this case, I just limit my targets and not go for 5 hours and 3 hours and take my trades, 1 to 2, 1 to 2.5. There's been instances where I just take a 1 to 1, just to extract some money out of the market, but just pretty much managing my expectations when I go counter trend.
I think it makes sense. And how's your risk management? How do you approach the trades? Is there a certain percentage of risk that you take per trade, or do you change depending on the setup?
I do not change depending on the setup. I usually risk 1 to 2% per trade. The only defining factor in my risk is my current equity. So if I am in profit, I increase the risk, and if I am in drawdown, I maintain the same risk. I do not go down in risk. I maintain my risk. Having enough data, I guess, in my journal, I can uh, I can assume to get out of drawdown after 5 losses and having a 10% drawdown overall on prop firm accounts. That's enough for me. Sometimes it's breached, sometimes it's not, but things happen. But there's a famous saying, let your winners run and cut the losers short. So whenever I'm in a good run, I try to squeeze as much as I can from a winning streak.
I think it makes sense. And I think you made a good point because I'm checking your payouts, and this is your sixth payout from Funding Pips. It's from 12th of February. It's quite juicy. I know that. But the next one belongs to 26th of March, and it's $20,000. We can
Yeah,
say that there are a lot of differences between these two payouts. So my question is that what has changed between these two dates? It's, like it's just over a month. What has changed that you made four times of payouts from your
yeah.
last payout and got here? And um, can you tell us that is this profit just in a week? or
Yes.
have you waited through, like maybe to get to some kind of certain percentage of profit?
No, this is I never I try to never like if I'm in profit, I always take the profit on a profit split day. So this is a fresh account, and then it was 26% gain per week. It is it is my personal best, and it's also, not I wouldn't say it's not something that could be sustained for a long time. What happened here is simply my system at that time was in a multiple trade winning streak, and I have applied a more aggressive risk management system where I got into profit by taking a trade and getting into profit from the first trade, and then few winning trades with an increased risk took place right after, and that's it. This is actually, I think, three trades that totaled over 26% pre-split. So it was 3 or 4 trades.
It's actually quite amazing, and that's why I asked this question, because like you have said, the accounts may be blown away, right? It's totally natural, because what makes a trader successful, it's not that they don't blow any accounts. Yeah, every trader blows accounts because we're human. It's the human emotion. You can try something new, maybe it's impossible to always follow a certain plan. Uh, of course, it's important to be disciplined, but it's just not that realistic to always follow that plan. So it's okay to blow accounts. So, what makes a trader a good trader is that they know that they can pass another account. They know that they can get a payout again, and they can start over. And what I see and what I understand from what you're saying is this: even though you blow an account, you know that you can always start again. You can always pass the account and get to the payout phase, and I actually like that, because it means that you have now built some kind of confidence in your trading.
Yeah,
And that's actually where it starts to go well from here. It's only uptrend from now. As long
yeah,
as the
hopefully.
trader as long as the trader keeps a disciplined approach and everything, it's only uptrend from now, and maybe a little break even sometimes, but from what I can tell, this is how it's gonna go from now on. While we're at it, how was your experience with funding pips? You have secured 7 payouts, and you have been consistent with it. How would you rate your experience?
Oh, 10 out of 10. The best in the business, 100%. I mean, the whole weekly payout thing is amazing. The speed of it, the spreads, every like as soon as I've heard like I as soon as I've heard and discovered finding pips, I haven't looked anywhere else. So I mean, it's just that I don't need to, all of my needs are catered for, and it's the price from pricing to trusted CEO, Paulina, a lot of resources, like looking at the interviews, listening to interviews that you have with other successful traders. I've done that as well. I mean, uh, it's you produce powerful content that everybody should pay attention to as well, and that's something you won't find anywhere else. So I mean, it's hands down, 10 out of 10.
It's really amazing to hear you say all these, because nowadays it's quite important to trust the prop firm as a trader, because I myself am a trader as well. And it's really, really important that when you make a profit, you know that you're going to get that. You know you're going to get your payout. You know that it's the best deal out there. The trading rules, likewise, and
Of
like I
course,
said, the pricing and everything. So I can relate to what you're saying, and thank you for actually saying this. Um,
of course.
from what I see, 7 payouts is not easy. It's not easy. And it's clear that you have broken out some kind of trend in your trading journey. So, what would your advice be to other traders out there, maybe who are trading their journey just soon, or maybe
Mm.
they tried all over but couldn't be successful like you yet? So, what would you advise to them?
Um, to continue, first of
Yeah,
all,
and to be
that
successful like you.
yeah. So it's to continue doing what they're doing. I mean, you only lose when you give up. So do not. And it will come eventually because you just have to go through these steps. You have to get through because it just makes you a stronger person and a trader as well. And then if because it was I was hearing a lot of what I'm saying now as well from when I was in a perhaps a little bit worse path of my own, and not getting the payouts, etc. But it was important to continue and not give up on it, and just try to be better 1% each day, and then let the compound effects take place, and you'll see that the hard work pays off. So just continue respecting your trading plan. Do not over leverage, um, and do not and treat it like a business, as it is a business. So,
It's really amazing for you to say that because it actually drives another question. Do you have a specific profit target on your funded accounts, or
mm.
do you just keep trading the account until it's the payout day? What's your approach on this? What's your approach on locking the payout?
My approach is at first few days, I just trade it as is. If I'm in profit, I start to apply my mental stop loss in profit. So if let's say I'm up 5%, I try not to lose more than 2%. If I do that, I just quit and take my money out. But no specific targets. If I feel good with the how the market moves, etc. I mean, my routine is on point. That usually translates into results. So I try to maximize the opportunities, but at some point there is a certain amount where perhaps also like perhaps a news calendar that takes away a few of the trading days, and at some point you just have to secure your payout, and do not become greedy, because being greedy has sometimes ruined my accounts as well. So as long as you learn from the mistakes, it's you're good.
It's amazing advice, really. It's really amazing advice. And the fact that you use the term mental stop loss says a lot about your trading approach, your psychological approach to what you're doing. Because, yes, it's a hard journey and it's a long one, but it's important to learn some kind of basic survival skills. And whether it's risk management, whether it's that mental stop loss that you have mentioned, it's really important to lock in those skills and then continue our journey, which I assume brought you to profitability from break even and from losing. So
Yes.
it's quite amazing. Thank you for joining this interview, Arnas. I enjoyed your journey a lot, and I'm sure our audience has enjoyed it as well because it's full of inspiration and it's full of information on how to approach a challenge, how to approach the market, and to be honest, how to approach trading mentally. Even though you have a job and you have other things to do, and you need to balance it all out. So thank you for joining this interview, and thank you everyone for watching this interview, and I'll see you guys on the next one. But before we close, do you have any other last words to anyone who's watching you right now?
First of all, thank you for your time. Thank you, Funding Pips, for doing this for us traders. Everybody really appreciates what you guys are doing. And yeah, guys, just do not quit. Do not give up. Do not give in. That's a famous short quote by Winston Churchill. So never give in.
You don't lose unless you give up, like you have said.
Exactly.
It's
Exactly.
amazing. Thank you, everyone, for watching this interview, and I'll see you guys on the next one.